light out there. I learned while I was in Sweden, the sun doesn't really go down. I was like, whoa, hold up. It's 3 in the morning and it's still kind of bright. But I just think that it's so cool being able to, have a business that's all over the world. And it's really awesome because I'm thinking about how last year, me and some of my girlfriends, we went to Athens, Santorini, and Rome for my 30th birthday. Yes, I'm 31 now. And it's crazy because while we were in Athens, we got to hang out and go to dinner with the Herbalife family. While we were in Rome, we got to hang out and go to dinner with the Herbalife family. Now it's Los Angeles to Iceland. It was just in Sweden. And it's so cool to know that we are literally all over the world. So what's up, guys? My name is Sarah Brown Fontenot, and I have been a part of this Herbalife community now for 7 years. And when I told you it has completely changed my life, it has completely changed my life. And I just want to ask your permission because I always want to know beforehand that, one, is it okay for me to be transparent, open, raw, like just keep it real? Because I really feel like sometimes people want to do things too pretty. And if you do things too pretty, you can't always do it right? Like imagine trying to go to the gym and not sweat. What kind of results are you gonna get? So I wanna go all the way in with you guys and really just share the realest parts of my story because, if you're already doing great in the business, I applaud you, keep going, keep on trucking, but I'm talking more to the people that feel stuck. I'm going to be talking more to the people that are like, I don't really know what's going on with my business. Or when you're like, why aren't my numbers looking like the effort that I'm putting in? Like if you're in a place where you're like, what is going on? I really want to forward my business. Then you are exactly who I am talking to today. And I want you guys to know that before Herbalife, to give you a little bit of a look, sometimes if you look at my Instagram now, or if you see me now, people are really quick to think that this is where you've always been. Has anyone reached their body goal and when you wear the button that says lose weight now, ask me how? And they're like, you've always looked like that. And it's like, wait, no, I've actually lost 36 pounds, right? So a lot of the times, guys, people see you for who you are and they don't know the journey that you've been through. So it's always great to stay connected to that. And I'll never forget, I don't know where you guys are at on the call, but I was that girl that couldn't afford to put gas in my car. Okay, keeping it all the way real, I was that girl calling my mom saying, can you please help me pay my rent? Calling my sister, looking up for change in the couch. I literally, when I found out that I had to eat less calories, before Herbalife, I was trying to lose weight by myself. I was eating off of the dollar menu at Jack in the Box, which is like a fast food restaurant, or I wasn't really eating because I thought that was how I was going to lose weight. And so I want you guys to know that it really doesn't matter where you start. And so I got started with Herbalife on accident. I saw a girl, we were in this pageant thing together, and the first time I saw her, she could lose a little bit of weight. Both of us needed to lose some weight for this pageant. And the next time I saw her, which was 6 weeks later, she looked like a Barbie doll. I was like, okay, hold up. What drugs are you taking? Surgery does not heal that fast. I need to know, like, what do I need to do? And she's like, come work out with me. And I was like, no, I don't want your workout. I want your drugs. And she was like, no, Sarah, come on, come work out. And she became my friend. So literally it took me weeks to even get down to a workout. Never quit inviting, right? Never quit following up. Never quit being friends with people. And so it took me a while to get down to the workout. When I got down to the workout, there were 200 plus people on the beach working out at 7 a.m. with energy. I mean, they were fist pumping, they were high-fiving, and I was like, these are my people. I was just so excited about the excitement on the beach. And I was like, okay, what do I need to do? So that day, guys, I kid you not, at the time, it was $68 to sign up with Herbalife. I didn't have $68. So my boyfriend at the time, thank God for him, my boyfriend at the time actually paid for me to get a membership, and she gave me a half-opened cafe latte and a half-opened protein drink mix with some leftover tea. And I was like, okay, I could do this. I could do this. And I'm so grateful. Sometimes it's like the teacher will appear when the student is ready. I didn't even know that I was getting into Herbalife. So for those of you that are new on the line, I didn't grow up thinking I was going to be an Herbalife distributor. I didn't even know what Herbalife was. I had never heard of entrepreneurship. I thought in order to be successful in life, you had to be a doctor, a lawyer, in entertainment, or an engineer. Like that, anybody else been like you go to school and you get one of those jobs and you're set for life. Has anyone ever heard that before on this call? Okay, great. So that's what I thought. So my way was like definitely not doctor because blood makes me so queasy. That's just out. My mom's an engineer and I didn't want to be an engineer. And I was like, well, I could be a lawyer. I'm really good at debating. But then I found out how many years of school there was. And I was like, that's out. Like, there's just no way. I just can't do that. And so I moved from Canada, guys, Regina, Saskatchewan, little house on the prairie, to Los Angeles, California at 20 years old by myself. So when I tell you my struggle was real, when I tell you I didn't have a circle of influence, what I had was excitement. I was ignorance on fire. My first 6 weeks with these products, guys, I took 4 inches off of my waist. I added 5 inches to my curves, praise God. Finally got a little bit of a booty and I got abs. So I was like, oh my goodness, this works. But it didn't take me 6 weeks to start talking about these products. My first week, I felt good. Has anyone been like hit by the tea again and again and again and again and again? Like the tea is so bomb. Like I just had some tea. If you're wondering why I'm like, bing, because the tea is so good, right? And so I was telling everyone, I was like, Herbalife, 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 Herbalife. Within 1 week of me feeling that tea, I did not wait to look like the Greek god. I did not wait to get my abs. I knew I felt good then, and I was sharing my experience. We don't sell anything. We share an experience, and either people want to be a part of it or they don't. It's like your favorite restaurant. Has anyone ever shared their favorite restaurant before? Or shared their favorite recipe, or that movie that you have to see, or your favorite song? We naturally talk about what we're excited about. And so I was so excited, I was like telling people, Herbalife, Herbalife, and they were like, well, what is it? I was like, I don't know, but it tastes good. And they were like, well, what's in it? And I was like, I don't know, but I got results. If you want results, you should try it. And guys, that worked. My first month on accident, I made an extra $1,500. Can anyone on this call use an extra $1,500 right now? Right? Being complete ignorance on fire. Literally, I was like, I don't know, but I got results. If you want results, you should try it. And so I say that to say, my sponsor doesn't do the business. And my sponsor doesn't do the business. So I didn't really have, like the girl that brought me in, she never did the business. She just signed a lot of people up. And she didn't really, that was it. She just signed I was one of those, I was like the orphan. And are there any orphans on the call? I'm quote unquoting orphans, but anybody that may not really have a sponsor that's in their business. So my third line up is now Executive President's team member, Corey White. And at the time, I fell off of the business. So my first month, my first 2.5 weeks, I hit supervisor doing over 5,000 volume points in 2.5 weeks from ignorance. The ignorance on fire, just super duper excited to share what was happening to my body. And then I fell off because my sponsor, I wasn't plugging into any event structure. That's why I feel like calls, the monthly events, the quarterly events, the extravaganzas, or I know you guys have a different word for it there, but the events change lives. It's like fuel for cars, right? Even as leaders, we get empty too. So in order to fill up, we've got to stay connected to the fire. We've got to stay around the energy. And so I say that to say that I fell off. For 3.5 months, I fell off. So you never know where your diamonds are going to be, guys. And you never know how deep they are in your downline, because I was third line to Executive President's team member, Corey White. And now I know I'm going to be one of his diamonds, which is really cool to think about. And so my mom was my very first client. Now, for those of you that have, family members that support you or don't support you, sometimes the people that love you the most, they support you the least. And it's not because they don't think that you can do it. It's not because you're inadequate or they don't think you're capable. It's because they're trying to keep you safe in who you are instead of seeing you for the person that you can become. And sometimes we take that so personal. Has anyone been so offended? I know I have been so offended because your siblings won't get started on Herbalife. Like, don't look at my body, look at my bank account. Why are you not joining? Right? Like, I don't know if it's just me. I see some hands. Okay, I'm not alone. Yes, but don't take it personal. Just continue to be the possibility. Guys, I have 7 brothers and sisters, both of my parents still together, and only one sibling does Herbalife. My parents now do Herbalife because I buy their products. But it's crazy because when I started, it even took my mom getting a crazy result for my dad to say, let me see if this works. like, Dad, what are you talking about? Now he raves about the 24 line, which is really cool. But it's funny because my entire life, I've seen my mom struggle with weight. And my entire life, I've seen her gain weight, lose weight, lose weight, gain weight, gain weight, lose weight. I mean, after 8 kids, right? I'm the second youngest. I literally almost killed my mother in the delivery room because I was 10 pounds and 8 ounces. My mom is 5'1", itty bitty, right? And so after me, it was really hard for my mom to lose weight. And then my little brother came along and he just messed up everything. So she was just a constant yo-yoing going upward, right? And so my mom was over 260 pounds when she started Herbalife. And let me tell you guys, I remember her doing the cayenne pepper lemon juice. I remember the drops. I remember every fad you could ever think about. I remember the only 6 different types of foods. I remember my mom trying her hardest to lose weight, but nothing really sticking. So when she started Herbalife as my very first client ever, she didn't do Herbalife because she thought it would work. She did Herbalife because she was supporting her baby, AKA me, in her new endeavor, right? And so my mom is telling me, weeks are going by, baby, I'm losing weight, baby, I'm losing weight. But my parents are still back home in Canada. At the time, I didn't have an iPhone. I had a Droid, so I couldn't, and she didn't even have a cell phone. Like my parents still have, she only has a cell phone because it's a work phone. Their house phone is still connected to the wall by a cord, okay? They are so old school, like so old school. So anyway, she's telling me, and 4.5 months go by. So guys, I started, my first month I hit supervisor, and then I fell off for 3.5 months. That's a total of 4.5 months, the beginning of my journey. Guys, I got to FaceTime with my mom 4.5 months in. My mom lost 70 pounds with these products. And that's when I decided everyone should do Herbalife. And so I found my upline president's team member now. At the time, he was global expansion team. And I was like, what do I need to do? I want to learn. I want to do Herbalife. I'm ready for this. And so I lived in Hollywood, California, and his nutrition club was in Torrance, California, which is about a 45-minute drive one way with no traffic. Now, what I need you guys to get is, this is back when I was struggling to put gas in my car to drive blocks, let alone miles, right? This was when you figure it out, you get resourceful. I constantly was calling my mom like, hey, can you please send me $30? The ATM is going to take $3. With the exchange rate, it'll give me $20 to put in my gas tank, right? So literally, it was a super duper struggle for me to even get to him. But I learned, one of the biggest principles that I learned is that success does not come to you. You have to go to it. And so I had to go to where he was. Corey did not want my life. Corey did not want the struggle that I was currently living in. And sometimes we put the direction of our success on our sponsor like it's up to them. Success is not an accident, it's a choice. And we get to choose it. And so I started driving 6 days a week from Hollywood, California to Torrance, California. Now, have you guys ever noticed that the second that you decide to do something to better yourself, boom, adversity comes up? Has anyone ever noticed that? It's like, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. Boom. It's International Donut Day, free dozen. Right? Have you guys literally, it's crazy to me every single time where you make the commitment to be great, something comes up in opposition. And so I'm taking the bus, I'm driving, and then boom, my car crashes itself on the freeway. Don't ask me any questions. That's just how it happened. Okay. So my car crashes itself. Now I had a choice. I had a choice to say, maybe this is God sending me a sign that Herbalife just isn't it. Maybe this is God saying it's just not my time. No, this is God saying, how bad do you really want it? So often, guys, we get into this space where it's like we're asking, well, why is this happening to me? Why me? Why me? Why me? No, start saying, try me. So I made the decision. Guys, I started taking the bus from Hollywood, California to Torrance, California, which is a 2.5-hour bus ride one way. It's actually 2 buses and a train one way, and a 3-hour ride back. Because success does not come to you. You have to go to it. And what I realized is all of these horrible things that happen in our journey happen so that we have the opportunity to inspire someone else through it. So if you're going through something right now, if you're facing adversity right now, do not just sit and play in it. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So you have to keep on moving forward. And I know that sometimes it can feel hard, or sometimes you want to throw in the towel, or sometimes sometimes you just get sick and tired of getting slapped in the face by life. But this is the thing. Life is always ready to fight you and me and all of us. So we've got to be willing to go the distance. Are we battle ready? And so, guys, I started taking the bus, 2 buses and a train to get there. And then I kid you not, I'm like, I'm committed to this. I'm going to do this. Boom. I got robbed at the bus stop for all of the money that I had. And even though it was $200, and that may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot when that's all that you need to pay the rent. Are you guys with me? Like, so often we're looking for reasons as to why not to do something. We're looking for reasons. All we need is that one reason to pull us through. And so I continued going. And Corey used to say to me, Sarah, you just got to go talk to people. You just got to go talk to people, Sarah. You just got to go talk to people. They used to sick me on people like a pit bull. Like, go talk to that person. Go talk to that person. Go talk to that person. And I'm telling you, one of the biggest things that I took away, because now I could talk to anybody about Herbalife at any time of the day. It doesn't matter where I'm at. It doesn't matter who I'm with. Like, I can literally talk to anyone at this point. But I did not start out this way. And so again, people will see how I talk now and say, well, how do I talk like you? You don't want to talk like me. Because this is the thing, guys. Our vibe attracts our tribe. Does that make sense? Like, y'all with me on that? So imagine I'm like a super high energied, like, bing, like I'm just that person, right? So imagine being this person talking. So then you might be like a really lackadaisical, cool, calm, collected kind of person, but now you're talking like me. So if you're cool, calm, and collected, but you're talking like high energy Sarah, you're going to attract a bunch of crazies onto your team and not know how to talk to them. You guys kind of with me? So the best way to learn how to talk to people is to talk to people. Learn through failure. And I promise you, I learned through failure. I remember one time, guys, and I share this story often because it was one of the hardest moments I've ever had in Herbalife, because I love making people feel good. Is there anybody on this call that just likes people to feel good? Like, I want to know that after me and you have had space together, you're leaving better than when I found you. Anybody else like that on the call? Pardon me. And so I used to say, these were my 2 lines. Do you work out? You look like you work out. I used to say that and that was like literally how I would start talking about Herbalife, right? Or I would say, have I seen you at my nutrition center before? So those 2 things was always what came out of my mouth, but it was usually, do you work out? You look like you work out. So I'm in a grocery store in the line, and there's a woman in front of me who had to have been over 300 pounds, right? And in my brain, I'm like, well, if our mission is to help people live happier and healthier, if our mission is to help people get to a place where they feel good, I should not be ashamed to share this opportunity with this woman. But I got into my head. Has anyone ever gotten to their head before talking to someone? And then what comes out of your mouth is something complete, like, what just happened? I don't even understand how did these equate, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And so what I meant to say was, do you work out? You look like you work out. But what came out of my mouth was, do you work out ever? Guys, I shrunk this big. She shrunk this big. I felt so horrible. I'm sure she thinks about me to this day. She has to. I'm probably, those horrible experiences you have in your life that you'll never forget. Anybody on this call? Yeah. I was probably that person for someone else, and that hurt my heart. I cried about it. I went to Corey. I was like, oh my God, I know I offended this lady, and I can't do Herbalife. It's just too hard. I just quit. This is horrible. Oh my God, why? And Corey was like, Sarah, don't get bitter. Get better. Go talk to more people. So guys, if you feel like I don't know how to talk to people, you have to talk to more people so that you work that muscle. Now, literally, I have no fear in talking to anyone about Herbalife. People are like, I don't know what to say. Okay, you haven't said enough of the wrong stuff. We know that. You learn through learning what not to say. Anybody like that? Anybody on this call? Like, dang. Okay, let's figure it out, right? And so it's crazy because you really just have to ask yourself, how bad do you really want it? And if you're taking notes, I want you to write this down. cultivate a mindset. You've got to cultivate a mindset beforehand. One of my favorite quotes says, you cannot drift to the top of the mountain. You have to intentionally climb. But even when you make the choice to climb, it's hard. Right? I used to say all the time when I was telling my sponsor, who was my friend, she never did the business because she never needed Herbalife, right? She was financially set. She was good. And so when I would tell her all of these things that were happening in my life, like when I got robbed at the bus stop, when my car crashed itself, when I was taking 3 buses or 2 buses in a train, when I was freaking exhausted, just to scrape by. Like, not even like I was doing all of this stuff and it just showed up right away. Is there anybody that's like, this is not happening fast? This is taking a long time. Anybody on this call, right? And so that was me. And so my friend / sponsor used to say, oh, Sarah, like it's not supposed to be this hard. Oh, Sarah, like you shouldn't be going through all this. Oh, Sarah, maybe you should just get a job. Oh, Sarah, this. You've got to get around the people who pull the soldier out of you. Don't be surrounded by the people that bring out the baby in you. Right? If I did not cultivate a mindset beforehand, and I didn't even know until I was connecting the dots in retrospect, what I learned was I used to always say, this is all a part of my story. This is all a part of my story. No matter what happens, this is all a part of my story. So if you're going through something, guys, this is all a part of your story. And now when the person that comes to me and they say, I don't have a car or I can't get to that event, how bad do you want it? Because I was taking 2 buses in a train. You can't tell me it's impossible because I've done it. How bad do you want it? I was struggling to pay my rent every single month. You can retail any problem away. You don't have to wait to get paid on payday from your job. You want to make money today? Are you willing to do the work today? Right? And so you have to cultivate a story. And I'm really realizing in retrospect and really looking back how many different stories I created just to get through it. Not just to go through it, but to grow through it. And so there's a couple things that I want to share with you guys about the business. And then I'm going to share a story because I don't have a lot of time left. But I wanted to share with you guys, one of the biggest things that people hear about my story is how we went to global expansion team to millionaire team in 6 months. So essentially in November of 2017, I remember having a conversation with 2 of my closest girlfriends like, yo, I don't even know if we're going to hit this global expansion team cut. Now, for those of you that don't know, a global expansion team cut is 20,000 organizational volume points. So your supervisors are doing 20,000 volume points. And at the time, my organization was usually doing about 30 to 40,000 volume points. So it was like one of those, whose business is this? I don't even understand what is happening. But I realized that I was jacked up. So my business was jacked up. I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, but whenever I'm in a funky space, my business is real funky. You know, can anybody relate to that? Like, anybody ever been like, oh my goodness. So when it's bad, it's because of me. But when it's great, it's because of the team. And so I locked arms. I declared war with my team. We locked arms at the end of November, and we declared war on basic. We declared war on struggle. We declared war on comfortable. We declared war on average. We declared war on all things that did not serve us. And this is why I so strongly believe in 90-day plans, okay? 90-day plans. So that was in November. December, January, February. We went into first cut 2.5, right? We went from barely hitting 20,000 in November to December, January, February, first cut 2.5. December, January, February. March, second cut 2.5, first cut $1 million. April, fully qualified. Anybody could do Herbalife, right? Fully qualified 2.5, second cut $1 million. May, fully qualified millionaire team, going on to do over 120,000 volume points in the organization. So what did we do? Is it okay for me to share with you guys like the actual action that we did? Okay, great. So if you're taking notes, I want you guys to write this down. In order for a business to work, you need 3 things. You need to be a technician, you need to be a manager, and you need to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to break these down. So let me share my screen. Can you guys see this? Can I see a thumbs up if you can see this? Okay, so I'm going to share with you guys first the manager. Now, okay, wait, before I share this, has anyone ever on this call noticed like, well, I do high volume or I can recruit people, but my team doesn't? Has anyone ever seen like the disconnect? Or maybe you're that person like, well, they're doing high volume, but I don't, right? And so I got really crystal clear with my team. What exactly is it? What exactly is it that is like, what is the disconnect? Because I am not more special. No one on this call is any more special than the other. It's just, what is the structure that you have in place? If you think about McDonald's, right? You know, if you go order a cheeseburger from McDonald's, you're going to get a bun, a piece of meat, two pickles, a slice of cheese, mustard, ketchup, the top of the bun. At every single McDonald's that you go to, has everyone had a McDonald's burger on this call? Right? Let's keep it real. We've all had it. Is it not exactly the same at McDonald's from this store to that store to the United States? They're all exactly the same, right? The reason why people are succeeding is because they know exactly what to do. And sometimes, guys, we come from a space of, we don't know how to be self-employed. Our whole lives we've been prepared to be an employee, not the CEO. And so I got crystal clear. What am I doing in order to create this volume? What am I doing in order to even have new clients each month or have new members each month, right? And so this is what I figured out that I was doing. There are hustlers and there are workers. I'm a hustler by nature. I figure stuff out. But most people are workers, and they need to know when I was a server at a restaurant. Has anyone ever been a server before at a restaurant? Right? We know our job is to serve the plates, take away the plates, do the roll-ups at the end of the night, top off salt and pepper shakers. Do you need to fill the ketchup? Say hello, greet people, take orders. We know exactly what we need to do. So in Herbalife, we come in, and what I love is it's such a buffet. You get to figure out what works for you. Well, my team never took the time to figure out what worked for them. So I'm like, do what worked for me. And it worked for everybody. Right? That's in our organization. Now, I do want to give this disclaimer. If you have something that is working for you, do not stop doing this, or do not stop doing what you're doing. Okay, this is just, it's a buffet. Take what works for you, leave what doesn't, consult your upline, figure out if it's for you, but I'm just sharing what worked for us. Is that okay? Can I just see a thumbs up from everyone? I want to make sure everyone is clear on that part right there. If you're doing something that works, do not stop. Okay, perfect. So here we go. So the manager aspect, right? They're the person that sees the past and then play from current side. Yep. They see what happened in the past. They make adjustments in the future. It is the structure, right? So number one is, it has 5 different things, is to talk to 5 people a day, 5 days per week. Who on this call can talk to 5 people a day, 5 days a week? I see by a show of hands. Perfect. Number 2 of 1 is to follow up with those 5 people the same day or the following day if it's not too late. Number 3 of 1 is have a no matter what calendar. Now, I know everyone is writing and taking notes, but I want to make this 1008% clear. A no matter what calendar means no matter what. Have you guys ever met those people that are like, yeah, I'm going to do Herbalife. Hey, we have our monthly event in 2 weeks. And they're like, oh, I'm going to a baby shower. I can't make it. I'm sorry. Right? How many of us have been that person? Right? No matter what means no matter what. What I found in life is people will have you spending on them way before they want you to invest in yourself. And so investing in these events, investing in your team calls, investing in your business is the best thing that you can do, because when you invest in something, there's a return on your investment. When you spend on something, you don't get anything back. So enroll your families into your no matter what calendars. If it's these team calls, if it's your fit clubs, if it's your weight loss challenges, whatever your things are, no matter what, show up for you and your future. My family knows, do not schedule your wedding. Do not schedule your baby shower. Do not schedule anything on my no matter what calendar if it's important for me to be there. And now the phone calls that I get is, hey, I'm literally my, and you're going to see her, my godson's mom. I used to call her my wife until she got married. So now I call her she's like my best friend. She's one of my closest, tightest friends. We talk about absolutely everything. She just got married this past April. And we didn't get the dates for our April Leadership Development Weekend until January. She literally, thankfully, it was a smaller venue, had to shift. It was in December. She had to shift the week to 1 week before for her wedding because I was in her wedding. I will not miss an event that is going to forward my future. Now that's just me. That's how serious I take it. Is that okay? Okay, cool. So no matter what calendar. So these people that you meet, plug them into your no matter what calendar. Number 4 is personal development. Talking to 25 people per week, you're going to get a lot of rejection. And number 5 is accountability. It could be an accountability group. It could be an accountability call. Just somehow for you to say out of your 25, how did you do? Number 2 is our tracking system. So for us, we track our daily volume. We track, who did we reach out to that day? Strive for 5, but minimum 2. Did you do a business opportunity? Did you do a wellness evaluation? Did you work out that day? Did you listen to your personal development that day? It's 10 really quick things where we track. And then who did we meet that day? I personally, and then their phone numbers, and I personally under email, I write their Instagrams because I like to reach out to people on Instagram. But one of the things that I'll say, and I'm going to stop sharing so that y'all hear me, really quick. Have you guys ever met those people, like when you're in the mall or like you're in a place where you go to all the time and you meet that person, you're like, oh my God, this is my future best friend and my president's team member. Have you guys ever had that person? Like, oh my gosh, how great are you? How amazing are you? Right? And so you take their phone number down. And let's say their name is Jill, right? And I take Jill's number down and I save her as Jill Mall because I met her in the mall, leaf fluttering in the wind because I put the green leaf behind like all prospects, right? And so what happens is I get busy. Anybody busy on this call? Does anyone get busy? So what happens is a week will go by and then I'm like, oh my God, there's that person that I met in the mall and she was so awesome. Let me text her. So then I go to send her a text and for the life of me, I cannot remember her name. Can anybody relate to this a little bit? A little bit, right? And so then I'm like, okay, what was her name? Well, I know that I met her in the mall. So then I write in mall, right? And it's a list of like all of the people that I've met in the mall. So then I'm like, mall, leaf fluttering in the wind. And then it's like, longest list ever known to mankind. And now I just lost my future best friend and my future president's team member because I didn't write it down. I'm squirrely by nature. It's like squirrel. Wait, hold up. Okay, squirrel. I'm naturally a squirrely person, but do not leave anything up to your brain. Who's busy? Who's busy on this call? Who has family? Who has children? Who has significant others? Who has work? Who on here is like, okay, my brain is already like doing too much? Anybody, right? Don't leave it to your brain. Write down the people that you meet that day. Cool. Can you guys just agree? Like pen and paper. Look, when I prepare for stuff, team call, I am pen and papered out every single time because there's actually a science behind it, but we don't have time for all that. So continuing on. Write down the people that you meet. Then we have our daily goal setting, which we kind of have not done anymore because in our tracking system, it says our volume for the day. But if you wanted to, calculators, your total goal, where you're at, what you have left to do. Recognition and celebration, we all know what that looks like. And then for your newest distributors, this is per day. So you're going to send a message to, and if you're coming back, there's another message for these reactivating distributors too. So for brand new message distributors, they send a message to 50 people in their phone. Now guys, I'm going to stop sharing because this is important. Have you guys ever gone to send the message to 50 people, but you get to like person number 16 and then person number 16 is like, hey, what are you talking about? Is this really who you are? Or whatever, maybe they respond with something, right? And when they respond with something, you start responding to that person and then you never get to person 17 through 50. Do we know what I'm talking about? So do not respond to anyone until you send all 50 of your messages that day. And then the following day, 50 messages that day. Okay? That is huge for me because one person will knock off everything and person number 42 might have ordered some tea and aloe just to support. So the message is something like, hey, I just started a new small business and I'm super excited about it. Will you support me? Even if you just get a tea and aloe, it'll boost your digestive system, your energy, and it would mean the world to me. Either way, have an amazing day. Here's my link, www.goherbalife.com/Sarah Fontenot. Super simple, right? Or even for members that are returning. Has anyone ever fallen off of Herbalife before, right? And then they come back. Or do we know those people that have fallen off and then they come back? Well, great. Even me, sometimes, guys, life gets busy and I'm like not the best health coach. Is anybody on here can agree that like sometimes we suck, right? It's like, oh my gosh, I kind of fell off a little bit. Like I've been in my threads, but I haven't been following up. Like we're human, right? We're not perfect. Leadership doesn't mean perfection. And so I'll send a message and say, hey, I just want to say, number one, I'm so sorry. I completely fell off. I got busy with life, but I'm back and I'm ready to go. We have a new weight loss challenge taking place on XYZ. Let me know if you want to be a part of it. Either way, hope you're having an amazing day. If you're interested, or reply if you're interested, or like, let me know, or have a great day, or whatever it may be. And then they're like, oh my God, Sarah, I fell off too. I totally want to get back on products. Anyone ever had that happen? Right? So admitting your faults and admitting where you went wrong is a really powerful way to get those older clients to come back, because we're not perfect. And sometimes people think we're perfect and we're just not. That's not the truth. Okay. And then, so I want to show you guys what this looks like, right? So when you do 1 through 5, this is what it ends up looking like. So if we are striving for 5, we are talking to 5 people a day, which is 25 people per week. Can we agree? Can I see a thumbs up if we agree? Perfect. So one person gets started. Can we guess who that person is? I'll wait. Who can guess?
The 25th.
Nope, it is you, but that is a good guess. I like that. The 25th is right. It is you. It is not your mom. It is not your dad. It is you. Getting started on a basic program. For us guys, it's a meal shake of protein, a tea, aloe, and then I don't know if you guys have cellulose, but it could be any enhancer that you have, and it makes about 148 volume points, and then you're still at that 25% level. You profited $0 that week for an overall profit of 0. Week 2 comes along. You talk to another 25 people for a total of 50. This week, you've started to master wellness evaluations and still no one gets started. So you're still at 148 volume points. You're still at that 25% level. You profited overall of $0. Now, have you guys ever worked at a job and you came in the middle of a pay period so you don't get paid for 3 or maybe even 4 weeks? Has that ever happened to anyone on the call? Right? So what we do is we'll work for someone else 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's 40 hours a week for 3 whole weeks before we collect our paycheck. But we won't do that over here in Herbalife. It doesn't take 8 hours a day. If people would like focus, do 8 hours a day in Herbalife, oh my gosh, I've never done it. I'm keeping it real. To this day, I've never because we get caught up in busy work and not necessarily the income producing activities, right? When we're talking to people, following up with people, if we spent all of our time doing that, plugging people in, meeting new people, talking to people, following up, plugging them in, personal development, if we spent more time doing that, like those are the most important things, plugging people into our structure, to making new friends and following up with new friends, plugging those people into our structure, our business would take off like crazy. So if you guys have noticed, people will work 40 hours a week. That's 120 hours before they get paid. But in Herbalife, we'll take that 120 hours, we'll spread it over 6 months, maybe even a year, and then be like, well, the business doesn't work because we haven't been paid yet. But what would happen if we were to focus and intentionally work those hours? Does that make sense? You guys with me? You guys are with me? Okay, cool. So week 3 comes along. We talked to another 25 people for a total of 75. Out of 75 people, who thinks they could get 5 people started on a basic $200 nutrition program? Can I see a show of hands? Perfect. That is 888 volume points, because 5 people times 148 is 740, plus your initial 148 is 888 volume points. You now moved up to the senior consultant level. You profited $290 that week for a total profit of $290. Week 4 comes along, another 25 people, total of 100. Out of 100 people and 4 weeks in, do you think that your results are better? Yes. Do you think that you're more confident about talking to people? Yes. Do you think that more people are showing up to whatever you're plugging them into? Absolutely, right? Do you think you could get 10 people out of those 100 people started on a basic $200 program? Yes. So that's now 1,628 volume points, guys. You're still at that senior consultant level. It's going to jump to the 5th week here. We got another 25 people out of 125 people. Could you get 15 people started on a basic $200 program? Now you're at 2,368 volume points. You are still at senior consultant level, but you profited $350 that week for a total profit of $990. Who could use $990 in the next 5 weeks? How excited would your newest distributor be if they made $990 in their first 5 weeks, right? Moving on, week 6 comes along, the same thing. Another 5 people get started, 3,100 volume points. You've now moved up to qualified producer, profiting $1,396 in your first 6 weeks. Coming to week 7, same thing, and week 8, you finally get to that supervisor level with 4,588 volume points, profiting $468 that week for a total profit of $2,284 in your first 8 weeks with the company. Who thinks they could get 30 people out of 200 people started on a basic nutrition program? Now, this is the thing. This does not include reorders. This does not include referrals. This doesn't even include the people that are like, I hate you and you suck. This is you beating the pavement, doing the actual work that is Herbalife. Talking to people, following up with those people, plugging those people into whatever structure that you have, right? Doing your personal development and staying accountable. The things 2 through 5 are really just extra. And if you guys ever notice, and I'm the worst drawer ever, but I'm going to share with you guys something really quick here. Have you guys ever noticed that sometimes people come into your business? Let me move us over. People come into your business and they're like, am I the drawer right now? I think so. Yeah. They come into your business. Oh yeah. Okay, great. And it's green. Great. I didn't even do that. And their volume does this, right? Have you guys ever noticed that? They just come in and they hit it off. Their volume just spikes up, right? And then what starts to happen is they're not doing the things to build a business. They are doing the things, and we're going to talk about the technician, right? The manager and the entrepreneur. They're talking to their circle of influence, and so they get volume fairly quickly. And so what happens is your friends and your family members will only, if you are that person with a super supportive circle of influence, I was not that person, but if you are that person, what starts to happen is your volume starts to do this. Anybody ever noticed? And then when your volume gets low, people get discouraged and they quit. Has anyone noticed that? Because what happens is this is all circle of influence volume, as opposed to if while your circle of influence spikes your volume, you're doing the work necessary to build up your actual business. By the time it's plummeting, you will get caught before you quit and see the result in your business, and your business will continue to grow. Does that make sense? So I really wanted to share with you guys a quick story because this is my girl, Ebony. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you've seen her before. Ebony is down over 123 pounds with the products of Herbalife now. This is her now 2-year-old son. This is my godson. His name is Jo. And let me tell you, when Ebony started Herbalife, she was planning a wedding. Her and her husband have DJing services. He's a full-time sheriff. She also does photo booths. She's a full-time massage therapist and has a 2-year-old, and still managed to make $1,100 to $1,200 a month around everything that she had going on. Why? Because she did the work that was Herbalife. And so with us guys, what we get to do is, that is the manager, right? A lot of us don't have structure. We have the energy, we have the excitement, but what are we doing day in and day out to build our actual business? And business principles are business principles. They're just fundamentals across the board of all business, right? So I said, we need the manager. Now the technician is the person, so we have the structure. The technician is the person that does the actual work, right? It's the barber. It's the nail tech. It's the doctor, right? They study to do one thing, and that's the thing that they do. Can we agree that that's what a technician is? They're great in their craft. And so for us guys, our technician job is the using the product, wearing the brand, talking to people, right? The manager is the structure. And the entrepreneur is the resilience. It's the perseverance. It's that thing that lets you know you can do any and all things. And it's just a matter of time. It's not if, but when. If you're ready for adversity, if you're willing to face those things that life throws at you, then you're good to go. And I'm sure there's a lot of people on this call that can attest that they've got a crazy story. They've got the most crazy things have happened, but they're still here. And it's still working. Can we all agree that the Herbalife business works? Absolutely, because there are way too many President's Team members for us not to believe that, right? President's Team and higher. The question is, not the problem, the question is, are we working it? And sometimes, guys, and this is the last story that I'm going to share, sometimes, pardon me, hang on one second. Okay, and sometimes what we do is we allow for comparison to rob us of what we could be doing. And I don't know if you guys have ever noticed, and this is just me keeping it real, but let me just talk about me. So 3 years ago in May, so it's been like 3.5 years ago. For those of you that have been following my story for a while, you might know that I was engaged 3.5 years ago. And I was that girl. I had a $30,000 diamond ring, 3.5 carat diamond ring on my finger. We were the couple that were traveling all over the world. We were, relationship goals. We were black love. We were power couple. We were literally all of the hashtags on Instagram, okay? But in reality, it was a very toxic situation. A very toxic situation. And I say that to say, because sometimes we're looking at people and the fantasy that they show you on Instagram, but we're not being real with what it is in real life. And so even though it looked great, it wasn't great. And I will never forget, guys, and honestly, even to this day, and I'm still not there, one of my biggest driving factors is my ex-fiance looked me dead in my face and told me, "You'll never be President's Team. The only way you'd be President's Team is if you married President's Team." Now, this is the thing. Some of you guys right now are letting circumstances, situations, people, and things, trials, tribulations tell you that you'll never be President's Team. And you get to decide whether that's going to be the truth or not. And so for me, that wasn't my truth. It wasn't the distrust. It wasn't the betrayal that had me jump out of the plane without a parachute, metaphorically speaking, right? It was knowing that I was with a person that did not believe in, and even worse, spoke against the vision that I saw for my life. And so I quit. Now, to keep this in mind, because everything was about how it looked and not how it actually was, even though this is back when I was global expansion team making about $5,000 a month, I was spending $6,000 or $7,000 a month trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to make sure that everything looked good. Can I be real? I can keep it real, right? And so when I called things off, and at the time, he's not in Herbalife. At the time, he was making about $8,000 to $13,000 a month. That is not bad for two young people with not a lot of responsibilities other than each other and a house and you know what I mean? Like it's not bad. So when I jumped out of the plane, AKA our relationship, that was in May, June, July, I was back in that place of, how am I going to pay my rent? See, sometimes we have to make decisions and we have to take plunges for the better, even when it's scary. And I always think of that analogy of like the bow and arrow, right? The further you are pulled back, the further and faster you will slingshot forward. If you just do this, the arrow will hit the ground. And so I was right back in that place that I had been when it had been years since I was in like a crazy financial situation. My mom wasn't in a position to help me. And now I'm like, my bills are way bigger because I've been spending like an idiot. I've been so irresponsible with my money. What am I going to do? And so I went to him and I said, hey, I'm having troubles paying my rent. Can you help me? And he said, no, I can't. And I said, no, I know that you can. Are you telling me that you won't? And he said, no, I won't. And I need you guys to understand that in that moment, he did me the biggest favor that anyone ever could have done for me. Because in that moment, I decided to become my own hero instead of being out here looking for someone else. The thing is, this is all a part of my story. It goes back to my mindset. This is all a part of my story. And in that moment, my story was be my own hero. We can retail our way out of any situation. Any situation. I did more volume. I had more members. That was my second highest volume month ever. Because I knew that with Herbalife, guys, it's like a marriage, one that will never fail you. The more that you pour into it, when you establish your loyalty, when you establish the respect, when you establish that you're never going to stop giving to it, it will give back to you tenfold. Without a shadow of a doubt. But are you willing to break through that threshold? So guys, we can be, do, and have anything we want with this company. Disclaimer, 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 disclaimer. The moment that we decide. And it's not going to show up for you right away. But the decision can happen right away. We can only look left and right for motivation and inspiration. Other than that, run your race. Sometimes we're out here asking for blessings we're not strong enough to carry yet. I wish I was a millionaire. I'm not. Why? Because I probably would have ruined something else. Getting anything before it's time or before you're ready can ruin you way before it can make you. So I just want to say, guys, this is a marathon, okay? This is not a sprint, and that anything and everything is possible. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. And that, you know what, I'm still not president's team, but I will be. And if I quit, I'll never get there. And if you quit, you'll never get there. Things are not happening to you. They're happening for you, for your good, so that we can get stronger, get that weight up. You know, we just got to get stronger, be more resilient, be more perseverant. Don't let adversity stop you. Now I get to call my parents and say, hey, I paid your mortgage this month. You know, like the cars that I'm looking at for the next, I'm getting a new car in October, looking at like, I'm even blown away by my life right now. Like whose life is this? You know, when I go to baby showers, I'm the person that gets all the gifts and I send most of them to your house because I don't want to make other people look crazy at the party. Now I'm the person where if I want to go home and visit my parents for 6 weeks, people are like, is everything okay? Yeah, actually, I just want to change the scenery for 6 weeks. And the money doesn't stop rolling in. And I'm not asking anyone for time off, nor am I asking for permission. That's what this company can do for you. If you're willing to do the work works every single time. So you don't have to rush it, but you got to move like you're late for work. Be patient with the process, and you can do it. So that's my time. I want to say thank you so much for allowing me the honor of sharing with you guys in Iceland. Love you, love you, love you. Passing it back over to this amazing queen. I'm so grateful for her support. It's really awesome. You know, it's one thing to have people that just like take, you know, sometimes people, so comment on stuff, guys. I'll say this, comment on stuff because you never know how it'll change someone's day. You'll never know because when you're always putting up content, you don't know what hits home. You don't always know what reaches. And so I'm so grateful for Sonia's heart. I'm so grateful for the way that she's so connected. I'm so grateful for the way that she shows up for her leaders. She was like, I don't know if I should even ask you. And I'm like, no, girl. So for her boldness, taking a chance, I just acknowledge and I see you. And I'm so excited for everything that's coming to all of us. But passing it back over to this queen. Thank you so much for letting me share.
Thank you.
Oh my God. Woo!
Woo!
Wow.
I'm actually speechless and I'm almost about to cry. Thank you for those kind words. Yeah, sometimes just people, you know, you connect with them and I think it's a reason for everything. So I'm really happy and hopefully we'll get you to come to Iceland really soon and we will show you our country and this amazing, you know, Blue Lagoon and everything. So we cross our fingers maybe. And yeah, just thank you for giving us your time. I know you're really busy and it's been an honor to have you on our call. I think everybody, because people have been following your videos and we've been sharing your Instagrams and stuff. So I think, yeah, everybody here can agree with me this has been an honor and a real privilege. So thank you so much for everything. And guys, just give her a big hand. Unmute, unmute. So guys, thank you so much for tonight. And it's been an honor actually to have some of our corporate staff here. We have a couple of people, Asher, Chelsea, Juan, Mariam. I'm probably forgetting someone.
Manny's around somewhere.
Patient, he's even here, so I bet it's been an amazing call. So Iceland, I think this is all we need. We've been actually doing pretty well, but I know we can do a lot better, and we all know that. And you know what she said just now, it's all we need. We don't need anything else. Herbalife is just about what she has been telling us tonight, and I think we should take this last 5 months of the year and make it the most amazing months for Iceland. So good luck, and yeah, see you soon. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you. Wow.